know, um, he's not on that account that has it right now, but he's a fantastic streamer when he gets on here. So make sure y'all favorited that account right there. And what I like to do is bring on an established person with somebody who you guys may not know. So I'm gonna let my boy Emoji J come in here real quick and play a promo video for our next guest. And right here, if you guys know Mike already, can you spam some ones in the chat while he plays this?
Uncle, you know, we really need to start paying attention to men's mental health. It's sad, you know. Sometimes they don't have nobody to reach out to. Make sure you're a hand for them to reach out to and grab and help.
And winner by unanimous decision, Mike.
That looks good. You know, music saves lives. Shout out my guy Brody.
Hey, let's get it. Hey, I saw Mike B put that comment night. That guy, so he slammed him, and then the guy at the end of the round came up in an unsportsmanlike way and shoved him really hard. So if you didn't watch the whole fight, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't pan out the same way. But that guy was talking some mess, and um, yeah. So with that being said, yeah, that's his new slogan. So this young man I brought here on the app, if you guys are aware of the fight org called Street Beefs, can you put a 1 in the chat? And if you've never heard of it, put a 2. It sounds a lot more hectic than what it is. Really, what it is an organization that was started to end gun violence. The creator's name is Chris Wilmore. He goes by Scarface. And he started this because people that he knew were dying from gang-related violence, whether it was guns, knives. And he started this so grown men could solve their disputes and shake hands after. So this organization started with people rolling off the couch fighting, you know, ending their beefs, but it turned into something where they actually have fighters who've gone pro. I've actually brought some of the pro fighters from Street Beefs onto my stream. One of them specifically named Bad News. I don't know if you guys saw him. He was the boxing champion, and now he's a pro boxer. And you know, Mike really caught my eye, not just because of his fighting ability and his growth that I've seen throughout watching him, but he spoke up about men's mental health, and he talked about other issues, and he just seems like, you know, he's been through a lot of stuff, and he still keeps a positive attitude. And people like that's you know, that's like Hawkeye, and that's like other people in our community. So let's give a warm welcome to Mike. He's new on the app. I hope y'all will favorite him. He's a good friend of mine. And this young man's 19 years old, but I promise you he's going places. So let's tap in with his journey early on while he's got this extra time. So one more time, you guys, if you haven't heard of Street Beefs, he's the double champ there. He's the MMA champ and the kickboxing champ. And in his state of Virginia, he's the state champion for jiu-jitsu under 150 pounds. So he's really, you know, starting to pursue his dreams right now. And I'm really proud of him, you know, just how much he's accomplished in the time I've known him. If you guys haven't heard of Mighty Mouse, he's a famous MMA fighter who's talking about him on his channel. There's going to be an interview dropping soon within the next 3 weeks on that channel. So stay tuned for that. I'll be posting it. And yeah, man, let's get right into this. So I got some questions I want to ask you while we got you here, but let's start with the items that you brought on.
All right, so the first one I got, this is from my hold on. All right, so this one's gonna seem really funny because it's not like that important, but it's important to me because I feel like if I smell good, I feel good. So the first item I got is my scents, my daily scents. I got Dior Sauvage, and then I got my Azaro Most Wanted. Everywhere I go,
that he may be an athlete, but he smells good after he works out.
You know, even if I'm just going to the bank or, you know, just going, grabbing some food, I'm gonna spray some on me just so I stay smelling good. Because I
smell
feel
good, you feel good about yourself too, right? Like it's just, even if no matter what, even if no one's around.
Real stuff, real stuff. And let me find my shorts. All right, so these shorts are really special because they came from my my dad's mom. My dad's dad. He got them because he lives in Thailand currently. He got these in the street market of Thailand, and these are like really good quality, and they were cheap because it's a Thailand street shop. I won the kickboxing championship in this. I've knocked a few guys out in these.
And this is
Uh,
how I knew Mike is my soul brother, because when I was out there in Thailand, you know what I'm saying?
yes,
Before we
sir.
even knew.
And then I got my jiu-jitsu belt. This means a lot to me because it represents a journey. I just switched to a different gym, and the coach there is really excited to have me. He's really excited that I joined up. I was talking today. I'm a white belt, and one of the coaches, after he saw me rolling, he asked me. He was like, "Oh, what are you, a purple belt?" And I was like, "No, sir, I'm a white belt." He was like, "Really?" He was like, "You're bullshitting me." I'm like, "No, I promise you." And so yeah, this means a lot. It's signed by Hoist Gracie himself.
Ooh.
It's a really nice gi, or a really nice belt. I love it. This is gonna mean a lot to me in the future, especially when I hit black belt. And then
And I already know that day is coming. I'm proud. I'm excited for that day to come.
yeah. And then over here, these mean a lot to me too because they're accomplishments. All these gold medals, and I got a couple silvers in the back, but all these gold medals mean a lot to me. They represent, facing challenges, going against people who are a lot more experienced than me, and I'm still overcoming that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I
And
remember you talking about one of those fights in the highlight. If you guys saw the highlight where he was landing those combos and then he got slammed, he beat that guy handily. Like the guy was on his last breath of life at the end of the fight. And he told me he was intimidated going in the fight because this guy was bigger, stronger. He looked like some kind of bodybuilder. And he had a lot more experience in fighting than Mike did at the time. And even now, obviously, but he handled him. So it's not always how long, you've been training or doing something. Some people just have it like that. So, I recognize that potential right away. And I've been seeing him grow, not just, you know, with your fighting, but your confidence and your composure in the ring. That's everything. So I wanted to ask you, if you have any more items, we can go through it. Don't feel pressure though, because I got some questions for you.
all right, I'm ready for the
Um,
questions.
all right. So what exactly got you into fighting in the first place?
So I never really had a father figure in my life. My dad left from an early age. When I was 3 years old, he left out my life, and my mom had to take care of me when I was growing up, and my siblings, my two other siblings. But unfortunately, my mom wasn't able to do that because she had some problems and she was strung out on drugs. You know what I mean? And so I kind of had to, take a step up and, care for my siblings. And I would get caught stealing food from stores, and I was getting in trouble. And, it made me feel like a bad kid. But now looking back, I wasn't really a bad kid. I was just doing what was needed to provide for me and my siblings. So my dad, he came back in my life. I was living with my grandparents, and he came back in my life and convinced me, hey, I could go to your football games, and that's what really hooked me was him saying he'd go to my football games because every time I would score a touchdown or get a good hit football, I would look in the stands and there's nobody there, there's no dad because my grandparents were too old to go to the games, and so my dad was like, I could go to your football games, I could do this, I could do that, so I was really excited, so I believed him, and I went and lived with him, and it took about 2 months for his true colors to start showing, and that's when he started really putting his hands on me. And before I got put in a group home, he like manhandled me. He like grabbed me by my throat. Like I was sitting in a chair, he like threw me back in the chair. I went flying across the room. He picked me up by my throat, and like I slipped out and I sprinted to the neighbor, and I told the neighbor like, "Hey, can you call the cops? My dad just like beat the shit out of me." And yeah, he made me that night was really like a switch in my head. I promised myself I was never gonna let another man make me feel how my dad made me feel that night. And so um about a year later, when I got my first foster home, I started boxing with this guy named Darnell when that opportunity presented itself. And he did it for free. You know, I'm always gonna have Darnell by my side all the way to the top because Darnell trained me for free, no charge at all. And so, you know, I started with him, and then I moved. I wasn't able to train with him because I moved out to the country. I switched foster homes, and but thankfully, this lady was so nice, and for Christmas, she got me a heavy bag to put in the garage. And so hours a day, I'd be out there throwing, you know, spinning kicks, just a bunch of different shit. I was looking at the videos the other day, and it's crazy how far I came. I was teaching myself a bunch of stuff, you know, and and then next thing you know, I moved with another foster family, and I'm still in contact with this family. They're a great family. They do a lot for me, you know, and they are a big part of my life. And I don't know where I'd be without them. And so they got me in the gym that I was just at, and got me started on my martial arts journey. And you know, then it started to take off, and here we
I
are
can
now.
tell they really love you. I hear them cheering for you in your videos and some of your videos. You could hear them. And even when you do something that might be, against the rules, because he does jujitsu and wrestling, and maybe he does something that's not meant for one sport or the other. And then, they really look out. I can tell. And I've noticed one of your posts on Instagram. This is my first time hearing a lot of this stuff. So if you guys, haven't already favorited Mike, we're just getting started with this. But I hope you guys tapped in. I know a lot of you guys already know him and got love for him in the chat. So yeah, man. So you already answered a lot of the questions that I had lined up for you. So I know this about you, and this is something else that resonated with me, not just, aside from you, speaking up about issues. Also, I noticed that you stand up to bullies. And that's something that I've always, tried to do from when I was always a big kid. So even before anyone knew how to fight, I was always the biggest kid. So, I knew a little bit, and I knew enough to like protect people who I knew getting bullied. And even on this app where you can't, you got keyboard warriors, but I will verbally stand up for anybody who is getting bullied out here in my stream. And I feel like that makes it a safe place for a lot of people. So when I know that you stand up to bullies, I've seen it within Street Beast, but when is the first time you remember you taking this training or whatever, and standing up to any bully, whether it's yours or someone else's? And I want to hear a story about that.
So I think my distaste for bullies stemmed from when I was young. I mean, I'm still like I'm pretty short. I'm like 5'8", 5'7". But when I was young, I was really, really short. And you know, I probably had what they call little man syndrome. People would like always make fun of me and stuff. And I was always game to just like swing my fists. You know what I mean? I didn't know how to fight. I just knew how to swing my arms. And so I think that's where it stemmed. But obviously my dad made that a lot worse with the way he treated me. Um, and so yeah, I think that's where it stemmed from. And I remember I went to this when I lived in the middle of nowhere with that foster parent that I talked about that had the heavy bag in the garage. There was this bully, and he was big, probably like 6'2". He's a big boy, and he was like, you know, he was thick. He was thick. Pause. Um, and so he was picking on this little kid with glasses, and I was like, what? Like, what are you doing? Like, why are you picking on him? And he was like, oh, you can get it too. And I was like, what? And so I was like, I was like, and I did the boxing for that month, so I was like, all right, well, I know how to throw my hands, so I was like, all right, we could scrap in the bathroom right now. So we went over there. Someone recorded it. Man, I grabbed him by his hoodie and I just started swinging, boom, boom, and knocked him down. And he like crawled away into the stall, and he ended up getting bullied after that because because the way he crawled into the stall, he just looked like he
Karma,
looked not very
karma.
manly. Yeah. But I made sure to have a chat with him after and let him know that I didn't have any distaste for him, and I'm like I was really apologetic what he was going through after that because I know I wouldn't like to be picked on of a fight video, especially one embarrassing like that. I'll have to find it and send it to you sometime. But yeah, so that felt good. But ever since then, not a single altercation outside of martial arts because
I love that, man. Because you're so young still. You're over there, um, in the system when that happens. So it's, you're. and you stood up for someone who no one else was going to stand up for them. So that's definitely something that that young man remembers forever. And then the other young man who it went down with, he learned his lesson, and hopefully he became better, not just from what happened, but then the way that you also told him, it's all good. Just, you came from a place of, of love to protect someone else. And, hopefully that he learned a couple lessons right there. So if you guys don't know about Street Beefs, you guys should definitely go tap in. If you guys haven't already tapped in with him on IG, his links are in his bio. He just uploaded his first videos on YouTube. So it's so easy. All you have to do is click on his Instagram link, click on his YouTube link in his bio, subscribe. If you don't, if you don't have Instagram, you don't need YouTube. You can just click on there, subscribe, and it'll help him. He just had a clip go viral on Instagram. So his followers went up above 2,000. I don't even think he had 1,000 like last week. And he's gonna have a lot more viral clips drop. I promise you guys, this young man's going places. I tend to feel like I see a lot of potential in a lot of people, but I don't reach out to too many random people, fighters, and something told me, to reach out to him a couple times, and sometimes I'll ignore that. I'll ignore whatever it is the first time, but once I got another message, it was like, reach out to him. And I'm really glad I did. We talk every day now, and I really believe in this guy. And I know that, one day he's gonna be the big brother to a lot of people, like he was to that kid in that group home. So um, let's talk a little bit more about, so you just started. He's working on his new merch he's got coming out. He's got his YouTube channel now. He's got some content on there. He just uploaded some videos. His social media is starting to go up a little bit, and it's only going to increase as he keeps racking the accomplishments up. Tell us some more about some of your short term and some of your long term goals, aside from what you got going on.
So for short term, I just I pulled some money out of my savings because I was saving up for a little bit. I pulled some money out of my savings to I bought the MacBook because I wanted to start e-commerce and try to start marketing on there and merch and stuff, and YouTube, edit my YouTube videos, post the YouTube videos. So I think those are some of my short-term goals, is just build my presence and try to build some financial stability. Um when it comes to long term, I'd say, I mean, obviously, the end goal is, to be world champion, but I want to make sure that I have a tight group of people that are there with me from before I'm famous, before I'm this, before I'm that, so I know who's real. And so I'm, because it's easy to get, distracted and get manipulated by people when you don't have nobody going up. So if I keep a tight group of people, no matter how many people it is, one, two, three, four, or like 20, 30, 40, however many people it is, as long as I know who is there with me from the jump, then I know who's real. You know what I mean? So I think that's one of my long-term goals that means a lot to me. And so I keep an eye for the way people move, you know. So I think that's another long-term goal for me. But yeah.
100%, man. It's a cliche they say, but they say you are who you surround yourself with. So you keep surrounding yourself with people like Samoan Beast and like this new gym you're going to with these dogs in there, getting you to another level. And there's people that recognize your potential in your craft and that uplift you and inspire you and motivate each other and pick up on each other's energy. And you already know I feel like the sky's the limit, man. I've been hyping you up, and I can't think of too many people that I've come into contact with that deserve it as much. And I believe you could do anything you put your mind to, bro. When I see these Kobe videos, if y'all know me, you know I'm a big Kobe fan, and he had the best work ethic. He worked every day. He woke up